What's up guys? Today we're going to be taking a look at a small video game project that I put together almost a year ago. I'm really late on making this video, but better late than never, so without further ado, we're going to be jumping into the process that I followed to make a video game for the first time. So, the first major step of this project was actually the most boring. You see, I didn't really want to start working without a clear plan of what I was going to be doing, so I decided to map things out and create a game design document. And this really long Google Doc contains a lot of important stuff like core gameplay mechanics, level design decisions, sound and music ideas, a lot of stuff like that. As you can see here, the scale of what I came up with in my brain was a lot bigger than what ended up actually going into the game, but this is very normal, and I planned for that also. But the important part is that I had a plan, and I was able to stick with it and create something that I was proud of. So, with a plan to follow, I got started making the assets for this game. I started with the player, of course, because you can't really play a game without a player. And for the player's texture, I actually just found a free sprite sheet online because art is not my strong suit. So, after making a lot of tweaks, I had a player that felt fun to kind of just play around with. You know, he's got jumps, he can fall, all sorts of stuff. And after jumping around the test level for a while, I started coding enemies. And this was actually a lot easier than I thought because I could just copy code between them and even code from the player to get them to walk and fall. I just copied that. And then I got to add new things like flying or chasing you and dropping bombs while staying just far away enough to avoid your attacks. And just like with the player, I had to get to work adding animations to all of these things. Throughout this time, I was also putting my level design skills to the test. The final game contains 2 levels. The first one is a short tutorial level that very subtly and slyly teaches the player how to use their abilities. And the second level contains lots of obstacles and enemies and lava pits that really test the player and see if they have really learned how to use these abilities in order to clear the level. And all of this is done in a very fun and engaging way. So, now that I was nearing the end of the game design process, I got to finally add something that I specialize in, which is music and sound design, which is so fun. Going back to the game design document that I had, I wanted the tutorial level to have a calm and reflective, kind of introspective vibe. This was also supposed to be the title screen music, but I never made a title screen, so yeah. And I wanted the cave music to sound punchy and exciting, but also, because of the place it has in the narrative, to be a bit lonely or dark, because you are, after all, trapped in a cave. After putting some music together, I got to make some really fun sounds. I think I literally copied the synthesizers from the music track, and then I used them to make sound effects. And most of the sounds just came from me, just kind of smashing the keyboard I had and playing different things. I kid you not. So, I have to say, the attention to detail that I had really paid off. I really think this game sounds nice for the small scale it has. And now that I'm done showing off my game, we're going to take a look at some Instagram responses and questions that I got a year ago. Wow. Better late than never. First off is, dude, that's awesome, and nice job, bro, that looks awesome. How do you even start a process like that? So yeah, I'm super grateful for all of the enthusiasm that a lot of y'all showed about this. I think a lot of the learning just really comes from YouTube tutorials and like web guides and stuff. Like that's seriously where I learned most of this from. Of course, it really helps to have a background in programming, but almost all of the videos I watched delved into that too, so yeah, YouTube is your friend. Next we have, what language did you use? The language itself is called GDScript, and it's just a programming language built into the game engine. It's basically Python, which also means that it's pretty easy to program in, and it's very easy to get ideas out of your head and into the software, which is great. And this next question also deals with programming. How many hours did this take, and how many lines of code was it? I'm not entirely sure how long I spent on this, but I did manage to log the days I worked on it because I was trying to make it a habit. So that gives me a rough estimate of 33 hours. So we're gonna stick with that rough guess. Now for the number of lines of code. I basically just copied all of the scripts in the game into one file, and this is how many lines of code it has. Wow, that's a lot more than my programming assignments ever were, but I think that's about all. I went through a few responses and questions I got, I showed you guys the process I followed, and I got to show off this really cool game I made a while back. I will try to keep you guys posted on all of the creative things I'm up to, but until then, make sure you subscribe and share the video if you enjoyed it.